2 3 days passed by. I was getting more and more comfortable around Kritika. I guess she felt the same. She was what I could not be. We both had the same perspective. We were resting in the park in Raja's tomb. She was lying on my lap, looking through her photos. How did you manage to fly? I asked. "Uh, what do you mean?" She asked with a look of confusion. I mean, usually girls in our society are always caged. Her family holds the key till her marriage. Later, some random idiot who comes to drink tea gets to keep the key for the rest of his life. How did you make it this far? I asked curiously. To be frank, I don't think I have achieved something great. I just went after my dreams rather than listening what the society had to say. I did what makes me happy. That's all, she said with a simple smile. She got up from my lap and asked, "Do you wish to own a key?" I smiled and said, "No, not really. I am not looking for a slave actually. I just want someone to support me. Someone who can understand me, who trusts me, and someone who can ride a motorcycle." "Hey, what's with the motorcycle part?" she asked. I smiled and said, "Let's discuss that some other time. I'm really hungry right now, madam." We headed back to the town to have some snacks. Cool started to grow on us. After her busy schedule each day, we would walk through the streets of Coorg casually, talking about anything and everything. We ordered our usual dose of caffeine and waited at the cafe. "Aaron, you can call me Kriti. It feels a bit awkward when you call me by my full name," she said with a faint grin. "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I usually call everyone by full names, except my close ones," I said. A coffee came. Kriti took a sip and asked, "Oh, why though? If you don't mind me asking." "Just one of my habits. When I get closer to people, I like to call them either some special or some awkward names like Ammai, Makaji, etc. etc. And it feels like they are my own, part of me actually," I said while enjoying my coffee. She nodded her head in admiration and proceeded to get high on caffeine. Afterwards, we headed back to her hotel, where she unloaded her stuffs and we went for a routine night walk. We had a dinner from a small dhaba. It was already late. The streets were deserted. Under the Marvi sky, both of us walked back to the hotel. I dropped her and headed back to my hotel. Throughout my way back, all I could think was Kritika. She really seemed to have taken me by surprise. I liked everything about her. I liked the way she talks, her attitude, her courage, her determination, everything. It was the first time I met someone with the same vibe as mine. Confusion clouded my head. I didn't know what to do next. I took a shower to clear my thoughts and went to bed. But I still couldn't shake off the thoughts about her. They were running wild. Is she is she the one? The one I had been looking for? No, she can't be. I have only known her for a few days. How can I fall in love with her? Well, then why don't I get to know more about her? Maybe I should just tell her how I feel. No, 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 no. That's not right. I am a good friend of hers. It would make things awkward. Maybe these kinds of thought never even crossed her mind. I tried my best to sleep. I tried counting numbers, meditating, and even some stuff I saw on the internet. But nothing worked. At last, I decided to call her. I knew that the only way I'd have some peace of mind would be if I spoke my heart out to her. I dialed her number. Yes, bro, what's up? She asked. I almost lost it when I heard that, bro. Are you are you asleep? I asked. Yep, I'm in the middle of my dream. Just tell me what's up, man, she said. Oh, great. Wait, I'll be there in a minute, I said and headed straight to her hotel. I had to sneak past the security since it was midnight. I reached her room and rang the bell. She opened the door